Hello everyone, I just finished grading your assignment number 1 and this is my feedback to your assignments. If you go to the module 1A where we have your assignment number 1 posted, now you should be able to see a new document being published. It's called the assignment 1 solution. And I call this document solution, but actually it is a reference to your work that you have submitted over the past 2 weeks or so. For any short essay style assignments or submission, I believe there's no 100% so-called solutions for this type of assignment. Therefore, let me tell you what I was expecting you to do in this particular assignment. From my perspective, the purpose of this assignment is basically to give you a starting point to raise your interest in learning data analytics and try to look at data analytics in a different way. And I believe many of you have taken courses such as statistics or some other data related courses and feel a lot of stress about data analytics. Nonetheless, from my perspective, I believe that in the time we have today with technology so advanced, we can easily do a lot of things that when your professor's age, when I was a student, we cannot do. And using these tools properly become an important learning objective for our class. So the first step is to give you a preview by asking you to watch this video. And I believe most of you feel like this should be a very good video to watch. At least it's sort of entertaining in a way. So the first question is basically to see if you have actually watched this video in detail, and that I ask you where the data set is coming from. It's actually coming from United Nations, in particular from a data set from United Nations called the World Bank data set. You can discover this information both within the TED Talk itself, or you can find information from the Open Data Explorer, that particular website that have the information about where the data is coming from. The second question is more a question training your critical thinking skill. So we are looking at this presentation. It should be, if you do not call this a best presentation, it should be a reasonably good storytelling sort of like video that we are enjoying. So if we are asked to reproduce this kind of presentation, and you as a student, business student, in the future, you may be using this type of tool to make your case, build your story, and influence your decision on some other people. And learning from an example like this will help you to build a better presentation. So the second question asks you to present at least 3 features or 3 reasons that why the presentation is good. And there are of course more than 3 reasons that you can identify. And what I want to do here is to summarize some of the important information that make data analytic great, or make a data presentation easy, appealing to the audience it is presented to. So these categories, not exclusively, but I try to include as much as I can coming from your feedback or your submission, including the reason it's good because animations, time series changing make people feel nice. Color, the proper use of color, and the storytelling skill, and the way that present insight into the data. I call this a slice and dice. That is pretty much the essence of analysis. You try to look into the data and try to see the details and see if you can find any relevance to the experience or the life or problem that we are associated or presented to solve. And it also present a way that help you to link your personal experience in a a way that it presents some sort of a connection using correlation and telling you there might be a cause and effect in a very good way. And so finally, of course, the personality of the presenter play a very important component as well. So learning from the short video, it's probably a good way to sort of think about how you're going to be using data analytic tool, charting, visualization, analysis to present your data in the future. And finally, we have this question asking you to do some research about 5 different tools that I selected. And all these 5 tools are very popular on the market now. So regardless if you are a IT professional or as a business student, especially if you are getting to the area of marketing, which is a discipline now we use a lot of data analytics, you should know what these tools are and what they can do. So when you are in working environment, you'll be able to deal with the selection of your tools or get a sense of what to expect when you have those tools presenting data to you. And the 5 different tools, I put them into sort of like a category. The first category is more statistic-oriented, very number-oriented tools. This including R and SPSS. The main difference between R and SPSS is that R is an open source, has a foundation to support the development of the software. SPSS is more a private-owned commercial software, but both of them has similar package, an analytic package, statistic package, data mining package. All these tools and functions within R and SPSS make these tools a very powerful, you can say, a powerful enabler that make people do some of the statistic analysis, very difficult statistic analysis easier. And R building with extra language layer that enable R to be more flexible in terms of connecting to multiple data sources, presenting more data processing capability. So that's the advantage of R. And of course, SPSS, with the competition growing up, they also have similar features and interface presented to compete with open source like R. And another popular statistic tool you might heard of is probably SAS. SAS is another very popular software used by academics. And some of you may have taken the statistics class in your college year, and that most likely you'll be using a software called MATLAB, and the MATLAB software is also falling into the same category. Now the second category of the software is the Python language. In the Python language, it's actually not a data analytics software per se, and because it's more a general programming language tool. Actually originally it's a programming language. It's not designed specifically for data analytics. But when more and more data scientists start using Python, and more this library and function are written and produced by a lot of these called community member, and it makes Python more and more powerful. So it become a very popular tool as well. And in a way, it has a tendency of overpass the traditional statistic package like R and SPSS. And finally, the last category is the Tableaus and Power BI. And Tableau and Power BI are something what we usually consider as business intelligence tool, but essentially it's more a visualization tool than called as a full spectrum analytic tool. And both of these tools provide a nice user interface so the user can easily build Excel-like presentation and much more by combining multiple sources and share the report or chart or animations with other user while control the access by at a very fine level. So these tools are gaining popularity in recent years. It is a replacement, I would say, that in terms of report building for the traditional tool like Excel. And it does have some special feature that Excel does not have. And also that data built in Excel can be easily connected to Tableau or Power BI to be processed and presented. The ultimate output for these two types of software are usually a interface we call dashboard, business intelligence dashboard, which is essentially a real-time dynamic charting report. Finally, I put a little comparison table here to compare these tools in a different category. And this is the way actually I would say probably as a message to you, how do we write a good data-oriented report, analytic report. Table or tabulate analysis is an important method, regardless you are using data, or data mean the numerical data, or quantitative information. Like in this particular case, we are evaluating the software, and you know it's not an easy job because there are different categories, different metrics we can use to evaluate the software. This is probably what poses as a problem when you are working on this assignment, because you don't know how to organize the information into a reasonable presentation to answer that question. So this is probably my recommendation to you, that in the future, every time you try to present a report that requires your analytical skill. Analysis means that you put things into categories or details, or cutting things into pieces, and compare and contrast. So tabulate sort of presentation is probably the best way to present that sort of analysis. So to analyze the software without telling you what I'm trying to deliver to you, this is probably you can read it and you probably can feel like this is probably a good way to do it. And of course there are disadvantage. There are problems with this particular comparison. You can also find there are some question marks, because a lot of these comparison we do judgmentally is based on our personal feelings or opinion, and those are something that we cannot avoid. And so these leads to some other in the future chapters you will read about how do we design a data analytic process or method, so you can use a better method to collect data, to quantify data, to present an even better analysis. But just simply using personal judgment, opinions, and comparison contrast, a tabulate report will present probably one of the best report without using any diagram. So this is my 2 cents to you in giving you the assignment, give you some experience, and let you know what I'm expecting from you to know. Thank you, and work on the next assignment. Next assignment will be a technical assignment. You'll be doing the hands-on exercise and actually try to experience what you can do with the technology we have today.